Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for the Singapore Sevens final. Argentina versus New Zealand, a familiar matchup that we have seen quite a few times over the last few legs of the Sevens. Now, I should mention these two sides come in ranked number 1 and number 2. New Zealand just a little bit ahead. I don't believe they will be caught by the end of the season, unless, of course, Argentina can cause quite a few upsets along the way, and everyone thumbs up right now for Billy. That's what he wants us to do, says Peds Blaze in there. And also we got the Billy emojis and the chat from Kerr. And Yo says, Nick, welcome in, and I'm an Argentinian rugby player. Just want to say that it's going to be a nice game, says Jose Maria. And yeah, it's going to be an awesome one. Although I did notice for the Argentines, looking through their starting lineup, there is no Matthias Azidsuk. Unfortunately, I believe he succumbed to an injury, which means he's going to be missing. And instead of him captaining, here's one for you. Gaston Ravol, the experienced veteran, more games than anyone else on the Sevens circuit. It's going to be a massive moment for that man if he is going to be able to get himself the victory. But Argentina in their starting lineup will be Rodrigo Isgro, Santiago Verafeld, Human Schultz, said that very weirdly, Gaston Ravol, Joaquin Palandini, Luciano Gonzalez, and Marcos Maneta as well. He is a speedster. He scored himself 2 tries in the last match, got a big smile on his face during the Argentine national anthem. And high for gold, or New Zealand for gold, high all in the chat. And let's go New Zealand. There's Kawan Piros Brown as well. And good luck, New Zealand. You are going to need it. There's Jose Maria. Although you wonder what type of impact going to extra time had on the Pumas, because they did have to fight extremely hard to get themselves the victory over Samoa. New Zealand had Fiji. We thought that game would be a little bit closer than it ended up being. The New Zealanders are able to win it with quite a nice points differential. Speaking of New Zealand, their side for this final will be as follows. Lewis Ormond, Regan Ware, Akulia Rokalisoa, Dylan Collier, Sione Molia, they all rhyme, Leroy Carter, and Moses Leo, the last man in the starting side. My voice has almost disappeared after a very exciting weekend of the Sevens action, and now we are here at the final, the big one. Both of these sides playing recently in a final. I believe the last time was it Hong Kong, or was it the one before? And it might have been No, it wasn't Hong Kong. New Zealand versus Hong Kong. Sorry, New Zealand versus Fiji. The league before that, I believe it was. But then also for the Hamilton Sevens, we did get to see Argentina beat the Kiwis on New Zealand soil. Now, this game's going to be awesome. Warriors sadly lost, says Peds Blaze. That is no good. And I given says Con. And also we have good there, Aurel Holmes, Ramos Argentina, says Blues name. New Zealand are in the Olympics, right? They certainly are. So they have already automatically qualified for the Olympics. Argentina pretty much the same as well, unless something drastic happens for their future matches. They should be through. But currently it is a bit of a foot race for who's got those last 3 spots. Fiji sitting quite nicely. Then you've also got France in there, and then followed by, I believe it is South Africa. But because they did struggle a little bit more in this leg, I believe Samoa will be able to overtake them, make it rain, says Kerr in there as well. And at the moment, the tears are raining down for Cody Vi, the youngster. He made his debut last week. See how much it means to him to be out there up at the Spain Big Wins, says Nate. And there as well. But that is going to be the New Zealand national anthem finish. Cody Vi, he will be coming off the bench for this game. Had a bit of an impact in the final, and you can see now that the tears have finished falling, he's psyching himself up, ready to go for another final for the Kiwis. And also Algon Argentino says Nadia. I'm not too sure. Unfortunately, sorry, I don't speak a lot of Spanish for myself. That is actually one language that I want to learn a little bit more of, because I can only really say Bienvenido de nuevo al canal de Kiwi Lads, and then also Hola, como você está. It's about all I've got in my arsenal. And also Spain, big win over Kenya, says Blues Nate. Yeah, Spain had a very good competition. Just unlucky. Well, in fact, no, they finished 9th in the end, didn't they? And New Zealand won by 12 plus, says Kerr. And also I assume that is, can I transmit in Spanish? Or actually probably for the video. The World Rugby Sevens website, best bet to be able to see this game wherever you are in the world. Child has presented the ball. He's just asking the question, do I leave the field? One of the New Zealand players said, yeah, okay, you can do. And then he has run off. Yes, Hamish, says Blues Night. And also dos cerveza, por favor, says Kerr. And also Solo Comenta says, oh, so that means no just commentary. I think I'm starting to learn a bit of Spanish. Hopefully. Was that correct? Jose Maria. Now, it's going to be kicked off by New Zealand for this matchup. The final of the Singapore Sevens is upon us, and we are now ready to go. Akulia Rokalisoa kicks it about 15 meters. New Zealand trying to slap it back, but it's Rodrigo Isgro who claims it for Los Pumas. Now Luciano Gonzalez charges forward. Regan Weir takes him down 22 meters out. Bit of a counter ruck there, having to fire it through the legs of the Pumas halfback. And it's going to be Hermaine Schultz who actually kicks this ball downfield. Something you don't see very often in a game of sevens is a clearing kick into general play rather than towards the touchline. Rokalisoa now back across to Dylan Collier. Leroy Carter back in his pace. He's through. Marcos Manetta has been able to catch him, but the ball on the outside to Regan Weir fires it back across for the easier finish for New Zealand. They're getting confident already, but that will be the first try of the contest. And it is Dylan Collier, that's correct, says Jose Maria. And yes, says Jose Maria there as well. And 4 past New Zealand Lowell, says Nate. I think you are behind him, says Nick Reed. Am I? How far behind am I? I am at live for myself. It's just about 30 seconds due to watching on Sky Sport now rather than Sky Go. So yeah, be sure not to put too many spoilers in the chat in that case. 5-0 for New Zealand. Kicker's gone over. That will make it 7. Now, I know that will give New Zealand confidence, but it shouldn't give them a huge amount. The reason I say that is Argentina conceded a try to Samoa in the first 17 seconds of their contest, and we all know who's in the final now. And it's not Samoa, because Argentina were able to work their way back into the contest slowly and methodically. Now Luciano Gonzalez has the ball now just outside of the 22. Sione Molia makes the tackle there. Ball available at the back for Hermaine Schultz. Now nice step from Rodrigo Isgro. Now Schultz again goes across. Palandini, ball on the outside. Here comes Marcos Manetta up against the Akulia Rokalisoa. This is a foot race everyone wants to see in the world. Rugby Sevens world, and he has managed to win up Marcos Manetta until he fell over. Knock-on advantage against New Zealand. Now 10 meters out from their own line, it will be the scrum feed for Argentina. So New Zealand under immense pressure here. 15 for New Zealand, 7 for Los Pumas from Kevin. I believe my prediction for this game was 26 points for New Zealand, 19 for the Pumas. I feel like it's going to be a high-scoring game, and it does seem like it could be a little bit that way already. Manetta, he's disappointed with the way that ball bounced, as he did actually have the foot race won up against the Akulia Rokalisoa. And the rugby ball, it can do terrible things sometimes. It can be great when it bounces up to you. Other times, it can seem like it's literally being remote controlled away from your direction. Ball fed in. Gaston Ravol decides to go with the pass off the foot there. A little bit of football skills from Gaston Ravol, the Argentine captain. Back up to their feet. New Zealand. It's going to be a knock-on advantage in their favour. Now Regan Weir goes on the outside to Leroy Carter, trying to back himself to go over the top. He just fends off Marcos Manetta, fends off another Pumas player, and it will be Leroy Carter who this time scores a try. Now, I should mention it is actually 7-0 at the moment. In fact, it was Moses Leo down the wing. ESPN plays massive for Spanish rugby right now, moving up Spain, says Blues Nate as well. And also, Bessa Mikulo says it was Kerr. Hopefully I've said that correctly, and hopefully it's nothing bad. I remember when I was reading out comments and they were in Tongan, and I was like, oh, this is nice. I'll try and pronounce all of the Tongan words that the man is saying. And then he donated $5 and said, haha, I just made you say every single Tongan swear word in the dictionary. So I was like, maybe I should be cautious reading out other ones. But I feel like now I've kind of gone back to just reading them out and hoping for the best. That kick has hit the post and come back out. Let's go New Zealand, says Cohen Theros Brown. Moses Leo, 5 tries so far throughout the Singapore Sevens. 3 minutes remaining in this first half. New Zealand sitting with a 12-0 lead. Not going to be knock-on originally from New Zealand, going back for Argentina's scrum. Leroy Carter not too happy. New Zealand playing for their 66th World Series Cup title. And also, bros, getting easy. I've been watching every game since 5:30 New Zealand time, says Nick there. Argentina, they are definitely one of the sides who are on the up in the Sevens world. I remember not too long ago, they were struggling to make the top 8 at times, and then it became they would struggle to make the top 4. And now they're a real contender on this circuit with the squad that they've got. Ball's going to be available for Gaston Ravol. Now back across, I believe they will be slinging this across to Marcos Maneta, who is inside of his own 22, so he has a long way to go. Passes back across. Now moving to the right for Argentina. 2 minutes left in this first half. Rodrigo Iskro breaks the line, looking for the support. Little flick on the inside to Palandini. Are they going to be able to catch him? Looks like Leroy Carter will have the pace to slow him down, but now it's the counter for Argentina to find that next pass. Verafeld taking down their space on this side. Gasio Ravol to the short side, and it should be the try for Palandini. They're going to go upstairs to check this. I honestly didn't see much wrong with this in real time. Oh, they're checking the grounding rather than the challenge. I was going to say it looked like there was an arm wrap. He does slam the ball down, and Argentina score their first try of the matchup. And also we have got there, we are definitely competitive with some teams, says Xavier. And there are too many missed kicks, says Stephen. There have been quite a few, haven't there, throughout this competition. And also we have the Argentina flag with the hospital, or the ambulance of the hospital there. And there we go, Pumas, who won against Samoa and Fiji. Fiji managed to get it in the last moment, scoring the try with, I believe, 13 seconds remaining to get themselves the victory. And New Zealand is on fire. What's happening to Argentina, says Jose Maria, although now they fire back a little bit. Kick was unsuccessful, but it was very tough right near the touchline. And the score now with 50 seconds remaining in the half is sitting 5 for Argentina and 12 for New Zealand. OMG, we're a player down. Oh, that's for taking out in the air. You are a little bit ahead, Nick. Be sure not to spoil anything. Wait till we react to it. But Dylan Collier going to be going off the field now for the next 2 minutes due to taking the player out in the air. Hermaine Schultz went up for it. So did Dylan Collier. He had his hands on the ball, but then just grabbed the jersey as he was falling. And that caused Hermaine Schultz to land very hard on his back. Oh, sorry, says Nick. No worries. Now, New Zealand. This is the chance for Argentina to be able to really get themselves a lead. They need a quick try here, though. Only 5 seconds, and then they've got about maybe 60 seconds of the second half to get another try. Gaston Ravol, a 6-man New Zealand up against a 7-man full, or not quite full strength, I will say. Azad Suk would have definitely been a player that they wanted to have in there. Come on, Pumas, says Fleshing. Gaston Ravol goes across to the right-hand side. I've got Marcos Maneta lurking. He's got the ball now. Goes across to Ravol again. Vamos Pumas, says WMS. Nice step from Rodrigo Iskro. Now Hermaine Schultz. Offload to Luciano Gonzalez. Now stepping through, breaking the tackle. One more onto the right-hand side. It's just a matter of draw and pass for Marcos Maneta. The pass was in front. Oh, that's a very late tackle by Akulia Rokali-Soa. Both men need to be careful here, because or else then if tempers boil over, penalties will start being reversed. But that's going to be halftime in this matchup. Marcos Maneta, all he needed was the draw and pass, was slightly out in front of Palandini, and then he was tackled without the ball, which was weird from Rokali-Soa. The ball had well and truly gone away. He's got to be careful doing that. Watch your Frisbee golf video that you did 2 weeks ago. It was a good watch, says Nick Reed. Thank you very much. It's a little bit different from what we normally post on the channel, but yeah, we thought might as well upload it somewhere, seeing as we did have it recorded. And also we have got there, Go New Zealand, says Naiu in there as well. But currently at halftime, 12 points for New Zealand, 5 for Argentina. 2 tries to the 1. But the question is, how much will the New Zealanders get scored against? That was a really bad. We're going to forget I said that sentence. It is late here in New Zealand. I'll mention my brain wasn't working for a second. I was going to say, the question is, will New Zealand concede while being a man down? You wouldn't have got that from that part that I tried to say beforehand. It's good to see, says Nick. And yeah, we might have a few other random videos popping up in the near future. Also, maybe a gaming one coming at some point as well. Currently 7 points behind the Los Pumas side. Plenty of potential off the bench. They have got Graziano, Alizalde, Santiago Alvarez, Lavayen. Azudsuk is down there on the bench, but I don't believe he will be making his way onto the field due to that injury. And also Lizazo, the last man, coming off the bench for Los Pumas. Then for the Kiwis, it will be Brady Rush, Paya Savage, also Amanaki Nicole, Cody Vi, and Rhodes Featherston, the last man. And Rocco was trying to stop him from hitting his head as well. Wall, or head on the side wall. Is that what we're going with, is it? What a nice guy, Rocco Lisares. And what was the part afterwards, Nate, where he got like right up in his face? Was he just whispering, that was what I was trying to do, perhaps? Does that will be okay with a man off, says Kevin. Playing a bit of Bon Jovi at the ground. That is one, I guess you could say, one artist that I can play a song on guitar with, but I do not have my guitar with me, so I cannot prove it. So you will have to either take my word for it or assume that I'm lying. One of the two. I will mention, though, I'm a terrible liar. If I try and lie, I end up smiling and laughing and all sorts in any scenario. Oh, bag landing. Another advantage for Argentina. I believe that this time it might just end up being the penalty rather than the yellow. But Luciano Gonzalez with 30 seconds left up against a six-man New Zealand. Humain shots for the corner. Argentina score it. And that will now get them back into this contest very early on in the second half. Who's the artist, Hamish? Bon Jovi. Chris, for that option. Yeah, I can play a little bit of You Give Love a Bad Name. But then that's about it, really. Oh, and I could also play a little bit of, I think I could play a little bit of Living on a Prayer at one point. Let's go, Pumas, says WMS. And yeah, Hamish Rocco saying, I got you, my man. Well, he must be such a nice guy then, Nate. You know, making sure player safety comes number one. And damn, says Bros Production, the kick has missed, though, so it will still mean that there are 2 points difference in Loving on Prayer, says Chris. Jermaine Schultz, he's had 90 tries. He is getting close to that centurion. This is what Azudsuk was actually able to bring up for himself in this Singapore Sevens comp. The ball's kicked, and it's going to be, once again, very contested in the air. Luciano Gonzalez, look for the offload on the inside, goes to Dylan Collier, who is now back out on the field. And also play a safety for everyone, says Blues Nate. Rough pass from New Zealand, waiting for this ball to bounce up. Now it's going to be Moses Leo. We've only seen really that try score by him. Other than that, risky flick pass. Does go into touch, though. And now it's going to be a massive opportunity for the Pumas, who are inside of New Zealand's 22 after the music round yesterday. We know you're a Dolly fan, says Kerr. Well, fun fact, I only knew that one because I believe it was on an old SingStar game that my sister had. I believe. I don't know if it was SingStar Pop or SingStar 80s. Probably not Pop. I assume it was 80s. Damn in touch, says Nick. And I was like, go New Zealand, go, 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 says Neil. Now Argentina, inside of New Zealand's 22, 15 meters out from the line. Looks like Luciano Gonzalez. His day is over. And now he just has to wait. Oh, it's a miscommunication there from Argentina. The ball's just been thrown away. It went over the top of the line out. Brady Rush saw it, jumped onto the ball, and now has run the full length of the field for the try. Little mistakes like that will not help Los Pumas get towards a title. Nothing else to do on a Sunday night except watching rugby, says Bros Production. It's good fun indeed. Although, I should mention, there is a game between Saracens and La Rochelle a little bit later on in the evening. We are not going to be covering that game, sadly, mainly because I'm going to be up nice and early for work on the Monday morning, which is tomorrow morning. I've just realised. So, yeah, that is why we won't be doing that matchup. Appreciate you commentating on this game, says Aimbot. No worries at all. We have got plenty of them coming up on the channel in the near future. And I feel like it's always one of those ones, like, I hope people are able to find the game when they want to find it, in terms of whether that is the highlights of a match or the full match replays. They're actually getting uploaded on YouTube quite a bit now, which is great to see. But yeah, live, it's a little bit trickier because there aren't many people live streaming the games, I don't believe, other than the ones who then do it and then get taken down. And can you focus on the game? That is also why I always get myself in trouble. As soon as I say something that wasn't game-related, Rajeshwar gets on my balls and starts to yank on them. But now it's going to be a nice pass off on the outside to Marcos Maneta. Now stepping around. During that time, Rajeshwar, they were just taking the conversion and then getting back to halfway, though. So didn't miss a lot. And after this, I'm going to sleep, says Kevin. And do you have Easter Monday off down there? Oh, we do, don't we? Does that mean I'm not working? Maybe I've got to sleep in. I don't actually know what I'm doing tomorrow. I think George might be coming around early morning if we're not working, because he always says if neither of us are working, we're straight into recording. Now, Argentina are going to be able to kick this one downfield due to them winning the penalty. Now 30. Oh, it was a high shot, yeah. Brady Rush giving away that penalty. Rockily Soa being taken off the field. Have you got Amish? I did. That shows how busy it is over the weekends with streaming. I didn't even realize it was Easter weekend till one of you guys told me on the stream on about Friday, I think it was. And sorry, tense moments during the final second half, says Rajeshwar. It is no worries. Now, Palandini going to be throwing this one in. Taken nicely by Argentina. Palandini now 40 meters out from the Kiwis line. Now Palandini, one more to the side, almost breaking through. 15 out now. Good work in the breakdown from Regan Weir, although he did almost lose his footing, but first he was able to get the turnover. Now New Zealand going for the counter-attack. It's Leroy Carter, wide cutout pass on the outside. Going across now. It's going to be Sione Molia. Nice step on the inside, just managing to get up to 40 meters out. And really, says Nick, pretty much, yeah. And also how long left, says Dylan. Oh, sorry, that was Daniel. Currently 2 minutes 20 remaining on the clock. Yeah, 2 minutes 20 remaining. So still very close. If Argentina score the next try, it's going to be all on for the final couple moments. I believe the Argentines do actually have the scrum feed on the halfway line now. Are those the best days off? We forget about them just before, says Fleshin. Yeah, so that'll be kind of good. That will mean that I'll get to sleep in just that tad more. I'll probably sleep until about 10, somewhere around there, so that I can still get some editing done. There's a video I want to get up on Wednesday. And I was happy Easter, Kiwi lad. Fitai for your service, says Davida. Do appreciate you being here, mate. Hopefully you can't use words anymore. Hopefully you did have a good Easter. And also the George and Hamish emojis from Daniel. And yep, they do. Says Nick. So now Palandini. Got to feed the ball, and the time is off currently. So 2 minutes 5 remaining. New Zealand with a good lead of the 9 points. But if Argentina score next, it will not be enough to be comfortable. Graziano now out there on the field. The ball is going to be fed in. Available at the back for Palandini, New Zealand. They have got someone lurking at the back. I believe that is Cody Vai. Luciano Gonzalez actually back out on the field after an injury. Marcos Maneta still out there as well. I think he's going to be out there for the full 14 minutes if Argentina want a chance. Now short side, Luciano Gonzalez. That man's pretty much working on one leg at the moment. Tackled by Leroy Carter. Going off to the right-hand side now. Palandini had the ball a lot throughout this match. Now good acceleration from Graziano. Taken down by the youngster, Cody Vai. Now when the breakdown penalty goes against New Zealand, not rolling away. Oh, it's going to be the free kick. I thought it was almost going to become the penalty against the man slowing it down. Now Santiago Alvarez gets inside of the 22 drop goal. Would be a cheeky wee finisher. And we've actually seen Argentina try a drop goal this year, I believe. It was up against New Zealand, and they lost that game by a quite large margin. I don't know why they tried that drop kick. It was actually near the end of the game as well. Now, 55 seconds remaining. Palandini goes across now for Los Pumas, stepping through Iskro. 1 meter out from the line, consider crawling forward, but New Zealand over the ball, win the penalty, or do they? Yes, they do. Just in front of the post, the last moment, New Zealand. That is going to be certainly helpful for them in this matchup. Now they can slow it down. They can take their time, make sure that they kick this one into touch, and then we'll be close to the end of the game. Now kicked out down towards the 22. The only way for Argentina to win this game from here is if New Zealand were to take the quick line out throw, which they have no intentions of doing. They are walking, almost dawdling, I guess you could say, towards the line. Player Cook Savage. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. Unless Argentina grab this, run it straight in, it's not going to be happening for Los Pumas today. Thrown to the front. Player Cook Savage, drop ball, but it's a double knock on. They won't have time for the scrum, or they'll just have time, but they won't have time to get back into it. I noticed no more Delilah, Tom Jones, Sweet Caroline, Neil Diamond in these series. Says Atamani. Also, we have got back-to-back cup wins. It's massive for New Zealand. How long left, Hamish? Only less than 1 second now. It is down to less. Well, we're after the full time, I should say. But there is still a scrum. Happy Easter, everyone, and go everything. Says Moss in there. And good win for New Zealand. All right, Pilandini about to feed the ball into the scrum. Argentina, they will not put this ball out. They will want one last try to make it a bit closer. Luciano Gonzalez, now ball on the outside, goes to Marcos Maneta. Can he get his way through? He certainly does. Scores the last minute try, but it will not be enough for the Pumas. New Zealand have been able to take back-to-back titles in Sevens legs, and that does secure themselves, if it wasn't already confirmed, automatic Olympic qualification. The same can be said about this Argentine side, and I'm glad I got back up from bed to watch this. If I did not, I would have been kicking myself, says Reed. Oh, sorry, Nick. And I was like, no King Tom in crime. What is crime? Says Flesh in there. And I was in New Zealand, let's go. Says Nick Reed. And hey, bro, did you watch the Israel fight? Hey, he did us proud and knocked out his biggest demon, says White America is losing. Oh, that's an interesting name. And it's got a laughing face in your emoji, or like your name as well. But I didn't get to watch the fight live because we were doing a commentary at the time. But it's a big win for Izzy because at the end of the day, like Pereira has beaten him multiple times across kickboxing and mixed martial arts. For Izzy to get one back, like he needed this fight. Translation from Spanish, they go 40 lorries in a row. Dem aren't lorries, dem are trucks full of hens and geese and ducks, says Cornelius. And it's sad that the Warriors lost tonight against the Knights. And also the Hamish emojis from Daniel there as well. But New Zealand victorious. Hopefully the scoreboard says full time in a very short moment. There we go. 17 points to 19. I will subscribe to your channel, Jam, says Moss. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. We don't just do the Rugby Sevens. We've got Rugby Union that we do cover. A little bit of Rugby League coming up in the future. Bit of cricket thrown in there and also a bit of gaming and whatnot along the lines as well. But over this weekend, this has been a quiet weekend for us, believe it or not. We've only done, I would say, about 20 or 25 hours of commentary, which is, it's weird to say that that's a slow weekend for us in terms of the amount that we've done. But compared to last weekend when we were closer to that 30 to 40 hours, it's been nice. I think next weekend we'll have to try and find about 20 hours worth that we will be doing. And also awesome road cheer. Says Birdie Birtface. And also great job by the Pumas. Congratulations to New Zealand. Superb team. Yeah, Los Pumas, they'll certainly be back. 19 points to 17. Close score in the end. And they will be excited for the next challenge, which is Toulouse and then London. It will be coming up in the near future. About 32 days' time. It will be here before we know it. Big up for Izzy. Says Blues Nate. And there as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether or not now they have another fight. Israel Adesanya, and also Pereira. I don't know if they will, but you've got to give Pereira another chance. That's the thing with title rematches. It makes it a little bit wonky in some regards, depending on how the fights do end up going. Well done, New Zealand, says Jan LeBrand. 25 hours, walk in the park. Well, you, Hamish, says Kerr. Yeah, it's felt nice for the weekend. We still had times where we've been extremely tired, running off like 4 hours sleep, but it's been quite nice indeed. Hopefully you catch up on the sleep that you need to, Kerr. Once again, thank you hugely for being a part of these live streams throughout pretty much the whole weekend. I believe you've almost been on every single one that we have done. Also, your generosity earlier on the weekend is once again hugely appreciated. It goes straight back into the channel. And yeah, you might even see the results of it in the next couple of weeks in terms of what other equipment we look to get to try and make the streams and videos as good as we can. And come on, Argentina, says Matthias. They did very well in this match. They will end up with second place, the silver medal in the overall sevens for Singapore, but they are still definitely getting close to that automatic Olympic qualifying no matter what, which I think they are pretty much there. Unless something drastic happens, like they come about 14th in both of the next two legs, they will be at the Olympics. These two teams are the world's best sevens team, says Susan Raj. And to be honest, at the moment, like the top four of the Singapore Sevens, I don't think it could have been any better if they had tried. New Zealand, Argentina, Fiji, Samoa. For me, those are the top four sides at the moment in sevens. Great Britain doing very well in this tournament. South Africa struggling at the moment, but when they're on their best day, they are certainly up in that top four. For me, this was probably the best Singapore Sevens setup that we could have seen in the way that it all worked out for the quarterfinals to the finals. I think pretty much all of the quarters set up so that it wasn't two massive teams going head to head with each other. Instead, it was kind of one slightly higher team, one slightly lower team, and the favourites won each and every time. Shows how good New Zealand are because their discipline was shocking. Yeah, they had a lot of penalties against them. Yellow card as well in the matchup. Vamos Argentina, Carajo says Franco there. And Izzy won't want that third fight unless Dana thinks he can make dollars out of it, says Fleshin. Yeah, because that's the thing. It's a tricky one because, like, the fight the second time, it sold well, I assume, on pay-per-view, but that is also because they had some pretty good undercard fights taking place as well. But in terms of to happen again soon, which they'll want to do, but they won't want to do it too soon that it happens where everyone's like, we just saw it. So it's hard doing a trilogy because normally it's two fights and then the third fight's later on down the road. So maybe these two meet in like a year or so. Pereira, maybe he goes head to head with one of the top contenders in that division. In fact, while we're at it, we might as well talk a bit of UFC. Why not? We haven't got any more live streams after this one. So we might as well have a quick look. So yeah, that was in middleweight. So we'll go UFC rankings. Whoops. It was a bit wonky. Athlete rankings. I want to see who is there in the middleweight division. Middleweight. You've got Adesanya at number 1. Oh, he's champion now. You've got Marvin Vettori, Robert Whittaker, Jared Cannonier, Paulo Costa. The problem is Israel Adesanya has fought all these guys. Like the top 5 or so, I think he's fought everyone, hasn't he? Dricus du Plessis, that would be an interesting one. Get the South African maybe getting a chance at Alex Pereira. And then from there, see who works out better. Sean Strickland, another option just a little bit further down the rankings. But I think Whittaker versus Cannonier or Whittaker versus Vettori is probably going to be in the works relatively soon, or maybe Paulo Costa thrown in there. But yeah, I've just got to try and have some fights in the middleweight division that haven't already happened, which is hard to do because like a lot of those guys have already fought. I'm just going to go a little bit further down the line and see if I can find if they have got any fights already planned. Doesn't look like it until maybe, no, not up until June. And Tiger just withdrew from the US Masters. Did he? I know that you were mentioning it's like a 29 whole day. So did he just decide he was nowhere near winning? Or was it some sort of injury? Something along those lines. And done. Thank you. And Paul Marie says Amos. And there as well, I should say, with a big happy face. Muchachos. Hopefully I said that correctly. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see who they go with next in that division or whether middleweight. It's tricky now that John Jones has gone up to heavyweight because you're not going to get to see Adesanya versus Jones, I don't think, anytime soon. Definitely not now that John Jones is sitting number 1 in the rankings, although they don't have a champion of that division, do they? I don't think John got the championship from his last fight, but he's ranked number 1. Oh, no, pound for pound. My apologies. He did end up with that championship. Cyril Hahn, he was able to be. And evening to you, Hamish. And we're through with injury first tee off of the day, just about to start. There's Kerr. You know what? I might actually watch some golf, Kerr. You don't watch golf, though, Kerr. That sounds harsh. Anyone who doesn't know, Kerr has been up for like 60 hours, so he needs sleep. Dricus won't beat Whittaker, and Izzy has the eye on over Whittaker. Yeah. So it's tricky because Dricus, I think he still needs a lot more fights, doesn't he? He needs like 3 or 4 just to keep on improving, maybe a year or so. Unless he, I was going to say flash bangs him, but that's Call of Duty. That's not UFC. Unless he gets that quick knockout and gets lucky, I think it's going to be a tricky one. Like Whittaker Izzy's probably the next fight that they'll do. Now, like, who Whittaker fight last? He bet someone. Didn't he beat? Who did Whittaker beat? I'll be able to see this somewhere. I'll be able to click on Israel Adesanya, go to when he fought Robert Whittaker, which was there, and I'll be able to click on Robert Whittaker. When was his last fight? It was going to be up against Paulo Costa on the 12th of February, but it was cancelled. I'm not sure whether that was Izzy or sorry, Robert's side or Polo. I think it was Polo, wasn't it? And he fought 3 times or 2 times, sorry, in 2022 late. One against Marvin Vittori and one against Adesanya, who got him in the end. And then, yeah, he fought Calvin Gastelum, Jared Cannonier, and Darren Till. That was back in 2020. Still got Champions Cup game to go, says Kerr there. I mean, if you're watching that one, fair play to you. You've been up for a very long time, Drew, to beat the Brumbies on Friday. It's a tricky one. Is it a home game for the Drew? There you go. Super Rugby. Who we got? Are they at home or are they away? I think they're away. Yeah, Brumbies at home. GIO Stadium. I don't see it happening at GIO. If it wasn't maybe Fiji, they'd have a decent crack. But yeah, I think Brumbies will take that one out. And it was an excuse. He's shamed for not making the cut. Tiger will never win again. He's an adulterer and punished for it, says Spider Mick in there as well. My mum's actually been watching golfing or a golfing series on Netflix. Has anyone seen? I'm going to have to look at it. I feel like I'm doing more research on this live stream than ever before. So I do appreciate all you guys still being here who are sticking around. Anyone wondering? 19 points to New Zealand and the 17 to Argentina. We'll go here. Golf. We'll type in golf. She's watching Full Swing. Has anyone watched that? The golfing documentary series that they've got. But yeah, she's been watching that and she's quite enjoying it. She was actually watching it just a little bit before I started my live stream. But it's quite cool hearing about the behind the scenes. I think my IPL team are playing now, the Titans versus KKR. Are they going all right, Yarnlu? And Izzy's mouth is bigger than his skills, says Stone Cold. Although the thing is as well, Izzy, in terms of if he was quiet, would he have had as many opportunities as he's had? You know, it's like some of these guys, Paddy Pimblett, I know that he's a bit controversial at the moment with what he's been doing and whatnot, but like he's one of those guys that skills alone wouldn't have got him to this point. Because don't get me wrong, he's decent, but it's that charisma / that showmanship that has actually helped get him to where he is. Like you look at Colby Covington. He actually talked about it in an interview. He said that the UFC were close to ditching him because they didn't think he was good enough. They didn't think he could sell fights. So then he went down his different path. And now, even though he's getting heat because people don't like him, but because they don't like him, they'll watch his fights because they want to see him get beaten. So in a way, Colby Covington, bit of a marketing genius. Because whether you like someone or you hate someone, you're going to watch them fight because you want to know whether or not the guy that you want to win wins or whether the guy that you want to lose loses. Happy Gilmore, best golf movie, definitely. Watched that movie many times, even watched some of it in Spanish, French, all sorts. There's a certain scene that's quite funny, I should clarify. And also, Kolkata Knight Riders chasing 205 to win. I've watched a few swinging movies, says Kerr. And Izzy is annoying, but you're right, he pushes himself, says Fleshin. So, yeah, it's like Sean Strickland at the moment. He's kind of probably the next best example of someone who is like he's a talker. So people, you watch him, you see his clips that go around on YouTube, on social media of him schooling people. He schooled Izzy at one point, didn't he? He told him to go. He said no one who wanks off to anime is going to beat me or something along those lines. But that kind of thing of being able to talk the talk, sometimes they don't walk the walk. McGregor, when he came back from his injury or came back from his retirement up against Khabib, after that just wasn't quite the same, but then got the win over Cerrone. Should we do some UFC streams? I feel like we talk a lot about UFC on some of these streams. Maybe we should just start doing a few UFC fights as well. The knowledge, it's in there somewhere. I feel like when I dig deep, it pops out a little bit further. Arnold Allen is a beast, but he's too quiet, so he gets pushed back. Yeah, Arnold Allen's a fantastic fighter. But like you mentioned, it's kind of like you see an interview of him and he's kind of like, I'm going to talk about this loud. I'm happy enough doing what I'm doing. It's like when you're in the ring, the octagon afterwards, and they're like, who do you want to fight next? And the guys, some of them are like, anyone that the UFC want to give me. And then some of them look down the camera barrel and they go, oi, I want to fight you. Not literally anyone who's just tuned in now. I don't. I'd get beaten by, I would say, 99% of you in a fight, just because I don't think I'll be able to punch someone even if I wanted to. I feel like I don't have that like bone in my body. And Israel is tough. He can say I'll do whatever he wants. He reminds me of Muhammad Ali with his big mouth, says Spider Mick. And also, you're exactly right, Hamish, says Stone Cold. And there have been great fighters in the past who just have that same scenario. They don't talk as much as other guys. You get some good combinations of being able to talk and being able to perform. I'm just looking through all of the lists. Like Kamaru Usman, he's one of those ones who I think in his mind, he's the good guy, but people don't like him at times. Like people want to see him beaten, but he thinks that they're all like, yeah, we want to see you win. But I think Kamaru Usman at times, who was it that he was versing? In fact, people were going in favor of Colby Covington at one point over Kamaru Usman. It's kind of like, I guess the best way of describing it is like in wrestling, how you've got your heel and you've got your face. Some people naturally come across as someone you want to like. Some people naturally come across as someone who you like to hate or you want to hate. And Alan has a YouTube channel and it's a good watch, surprisingly. I'm actually subscribed to him, I believe. Hang on. Arnold Allen. Where is it? I like how when you search him, it doesn't even come up. 22.9K subscribers. I am actually one of them, believe it or not. I went through a little patch. I was trying to find like different UFC fighters who were actually doing YouTube just because I was curious about the training and everything like that. But he just kind of does like the classic breakdown of things. Michael Bisping, one who has a big YouTube channel, not a fighter anymore. Chael Sonnen, he's got one. Who else have I found UFC-wise that has channels? I'm trying to think of who else I am subscribed to. I have got a long list of subscriptions, but I think I subscribed to a couple other UFC fighters a little while ago as well. And come on, New Zealand. There's Valerie. They have managed to get themselves the victory, Valerie. 19 points to 17. Able to close it out with the victory, which was tricky enough to do. Argentina put in a very good fight, but just sneaking over the line. The Kiwis in the end. I'm up to F, and I haven't seen any other UFC fighters yet. Although I am very quickly scrolling, so it might be tricky to see them. Israel Adesanya, actually, now I think about it, he has a YouTube channel. He does like the fight reactions and the analysis, everything along those lines, which I think I'm also subscribed to somewhere along here. Yeah, there's a lot of subscriptions. I'm subscribed to Mr. Bean. Fun fact. Who's a winner? Oh, our boys, yay. And same as dad as a bodybuilder, says Flesh in there as well. Oh, so we have got there Money Taria is an excellent player, one of the best in the world. And also we have got the I. And also who's the winner? Oh, no, I read the one in Argentina, Papa. Says Jeremias. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those interesting ones that the more you like watch like certain athletes and whatnot, the more you get that appreciation. Oh, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson's another one I'm subscribed to. Who does quite informative videos. Manita is an excellent player, best in the world, says in the chat. And weighing in is one, says Fleshin. Weighing in. A moment. Weighing in. Am I subscribed to that one? I am not. UFC Watch Along. I have to give that a click. That looks like the top one that they've got. They've got old Big John McCarthy on it, by the looks of it. But yeah, nonetheless, thank you very much for tuning in. I've realized we've been going for 44 minutes. Anyone who skips to the end of the live stream to see the result will see us talking about the UFC and whatnot. Yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's hugely appreciated. You guys will be in here throughout the whole weekend for all the streams. Next up, I believe we're going to be Friday next week for the live stream wise, unless anything happens during the week that we do decide that we've got a stream for. The other side of things is a couple of videos possibly coming out. John Thompson and John McCarthy, the two Johns on that one. There was a little patch where I was watching actually like the MMA outside of the UFC as well, not just on the UFC app, but I think I was watching. I was trying to watch Bellator each week, but now that I hardly get to watch the TV, I guess you could say I'm normally either watching YouTube or editing, mainly editing while trying to watch YouTube, and then I have to close YouTube because I can't concentrate on both at once. So instead, listen to some music. Yeah, maybe if you guys are keen and there aren't any overlaps, perhaps we could start doing a little bit of UFC fight night. Holloway versus Arnold Allen. That's next weekend on Sunday. I feel like that one is probably doable. Even if we end up only doing a couple of the fights, similar to what we do for the Sevens, how we do a bit of a pick and choose. We try and do a few of the fights that are head to head. Is Clay Guida still going? I swear he was retiring last year. Ion Kutalaba up against Tanner Boss is going to be a good fight, though, in the light heavyweight division, because those two just smack each other and just keep on hitting. And also, who won says Valerie, New Zealand managed to get themselves the victory, 19 points to 17. Pedro Munoz versus Chris Gutierrez. That's actually quite a good card for a fight night, with the fact that they have got Arnold Allen up against Max Holloway as the main. I'm just looking through Zach Cummings. He's been around a long time. Same with Ed Herman. Between those two, they've got a fair amount of fights. Lando Venata, he's an interesting one. Went down the bare knuckle boxing at one point, didn't he? Orlando. Yeah, who knows? We might end up, well, we're definitely probably going to watch it, but it's just whether or not we do a stream alongside it. But thank you all very much for tuning in. I will keep on talking all night if I let myself, but my voice might be completely gone tomorrow. So luckily we don't have too much filming or anything along those lines for that. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And well, adios, Kiwi lads. Thanks for your commentary. Some shout out till the next back channel. Kakite says a spider mech. I should mention batting wise as well, now that I've seen that you've put bat. But hopefully Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to get that video up of us doing GoPro cricket, the next one. We've got about 4 or 5 that are recorded. Hopefully this weekend is when we do get our next one up on the channel this week rather than weekend. Yeah, thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.